There's a light bulb in a fire station in Livermore, California that has been burning almost continuously since 1901. It has outlived the men who installed it. It has outlived 2 world wars and every company that ever tried to sell you a replacement. Because in 1924, in a locked room in Geneva, the world's largest light bulb manufacturers sat down together and agreed on something very specific. No bulb they sold would be allowed to last that long. Not for safety, not for cost, on purpose. This is the story of the moment. A machine designed to last was engineered to fail. And why, 100 years later, almost everything you own still follows the same rule. By the early 1920s, the incandescent light bulb had a problem. No engineer wanted to admit was a problem. It kept getting better. Thomas Edison's original 1879 design lasted around 14 hours. Within a few decades, competition between manufacturers had pushed that number past 2,500 hours, and in the lab, some experimental bulbs were lasting over 100,000. One of them, handmade by the Shelby Electric Company, was installed in a fire station in Livermore in 1901. It's the same bulb still burning today. For a light bulb company, that kind of durability was a disaster. In 1923, Germany's largest manufacturer, Osram, watched its sales fall from 63 million units to 28 million in a single year. Bulbs that lasted years instead of months meant customers who didn't need to come back. Across the industry, the pattern was the same. Better engineering was quietly making every company less profitable. Nobody wanted to be the first to make a worse product. So, in December of 1924, they decided not to compete on that problem individually. They'd solve it together. On December 23, 1924, representatives from the world's largest light bulb manufacturers met in Geneva, Switzerland. Osram from Germany, Philips from the Netherlands, the Compagnie de Lampes from France, Associated Electrical Industries from Britain, and Tokyo Electric from Japan. General Electric couldn't officially join. American antitrust law forbade it, so it coordinated through overseas subsidiaries instead. On January 15, 1925, they incorporated as Phoebus SA, named for Phoebus Apollo, the Greek god of light. Its purpose had nothing to do with light. It had a single, specific engineering target. No light bulb sold by any member company would be rated for more than 1,000 hours. They didn't just agree to it, they enforced it. Each factory had to submit bulb samples for testing, and any company whose bulbs lasted too long was fined. In Swiss francs, on a sliding scale, the longer the bulb lasted, the higher the fine. Making a better product was, literally, against the rules. In a letter to a fellow cartel executive, Philips's own chairman, Anton Philips, put it almost proudly, after all the effort it took to get away from long-life lamps, he wrote, it would be a disaster to slip back into making them again by accident. They weren't hiding a mistake. They were defending one. World War II broke the cartel apart in 1939. International trade collapsed, and there was no one left to enforce a shared standard. But breaking up the company didn't break the habit. For decades afterward, light bulb manufacturers kept building to roughly that same 1,000-hour ceiling, even with nobody fining them for doing otherwise. It had simply become how the business worked. On the other side of the Atlantic, the U.S. Justice Department had already opened its own investigation. In 1942, it filed an antitrust case against General Electric over its lamp industry agreements with the Phoebus companies. It took over a decade to resolve. A federal court finally ordered GE, in 1953, to tear up its international lighting agreements and license its patents openly to competitors. By then, the habit the cartel had built was already the industry standard everywhere else. The idea outlived the room in Geneva. Historians now use the Phoebus Cartel as the textbook case of what's called planned obsolescence, designing a product's failure into its engineering on purpose to guarantee repeat sales. You can see the same logic today in printer cartridges built to report empty before they are, in phone batteries sealed shut instead of replaceable, in appliances that are cheaper to throw away than to fix. It's also why, in the last few years, a right to repair movement has pushed lawmakers in the US and Europe to require companies to make their products fixable again, 100 years after a room full of executives in Geneva decided that fixable and durable were bad for business. The Centennial Light in Livermore is still burning right now, tonight, while you watch this. Nobody's fined it, nobody's replaced it. It's simply outlasted every business model built to make sure bulbs like it wouldn't exist. Nobody set out to build something that lasts forever. A hand-assembled carbon filament made before anyone thought to make it fail on purpose, just happened to. That's the part worth sitting with. Not that a cartel once fixed a light bulb's lifespan, it's that, a century later, we still mostly haven't undone it. Subscribe to Kestrel. Next time, we go looking for the next question worth asking.